Welcome to this next video where I'm going to look at the Zoilas and the Umbilia shells from Australia. A couple of subscribers have asked me to do this video since in my Cypraeidae video I just quickly scanned over these groups and they wanted to look at things in a bit more detail. So we'll start with dipians. Nice little range there, lovely pearlae. We're just part of that dipians group, and that's my smallest dipians at about 44 millimeters. And some very dark, lovely dark ones through to some lighter ones. Perhaps my favourite group amongst the Zoilas would have to be the marginas. And there's so many different subspecies of this. It's pretty hard to keep up with all of the subspecies that are around, but a few Consueta, orientalis, marginata, hyper marginata, kitiana, some interesting little intermedians, orientalis raybaldi. I'm not sure about that. Here's a lovely one that's got kitiana there, but I know that's got another name. Oh, there's the lovely albino, albiensis, and those with spots for the hyper marginata. It's got that very broad base. And then this one with the spots is being given another name. Same with these spotted ones as well. Nimbosis. As I said, lots of subspecies, very hard to keep up with all the splitting that goes on amongst that group. And down here we've got some Rosseli, which there's also a number of names involved with that, but I've just got each of those labelled Rosseli with their location. There's a particularly beautiful one, apart from that very faint line, almost completely dark brown. Epicema, alludens, and some lovely ones here. That's a beautiful one with an orange base. That comes from Bernier Island. And then down here, Geniana aurata. I think that's the right name for those. A couple over here. Not sure what to name those. And that one there, Friendi verkoi contraria. Again, I'm not sure with some of the labels there. All right, this next draw is all the Friendi complex, looking at verkoi, looking at Geniana, looking at the CITES in relation to them. There's our typical Friendi. I'll just scan, lots of interesting ones there. That one, we talked about shells being baked. at different times, which means a shell is placed in the oven or in the microwave for a period of time to make the dark brown go a golden colour. Although, of course, the difficulty is at times it occurs naturally that they're that golden colour. But usually the way to tell if it's baked is if it's got lots of cracks within the shell. One that is definitely baked is this one of Vanas, and you can see the cracks through there, so a giveaway that that has definitely been baked. But interesting, this particular specimen has no cracks whatsoever, so I'm not sure. Some people more knowledgeable than myself about this type of thing have said they don't think it is baked, but anyway, be nice to think that it's not, that that's its natural colour. And just what I want to highlight here, that's a beautiful, lovely yellow with those brown marks. Very unusual, beautiful shell that. All right, and then you get almost sort of the bluey type colours occurring with some of those Friendi. So a lovely range there. This is supposed to be a rare Thersites trawled from Kangaroo Island, apparently a rare location. All right, and now we'll look at the Vanas big range here. This beautiful group down here. Profunda, and we've got Rosy punctata, so the ones with sort of the pinky colours coming through seem to have that name. Then you've got ones with no spots at all, going to heavily spotted. What a beautiful shells there. And Sorrentensis is another common form, often found around Cardigan Island, Rottnest Island, the Fremantle area. But again, some unusual forms there. That's the baked one that I mentioned before. But some lovely orange colours in that one, lovely yellows. Some interesting colours coming through, very nice group. Again, lots of subspecies have been named. And the last little group I want to look at is the Umbilias. And so we have three main groups here. The Armeniaceae, however that's, sorry about my pronunciation. Armenica is perhaps closer. Then you've got the most common one, which is Hesitata. That's most of those specimens down here. Then you've got this one here, Capricornia, just a couple of specimens there. And then of course you get the albino specimen, Howli. There's a few other species that have been named, but they're the main species. And my largest specimen is just on 12 centimetres for the Hesitata, and my largest one for the Armeniaceae is, well, that label indicates 94.8 millimetres. Interestingly, when I first got these shells, they were somewhat darker. That one in particular was a much darker patch than it is now. Just goes to show how the shells fade over the years. In fact, I know some people that keep their best specimens in the fridge or the freezer so that they will maintain their dark colours, but something that I've never gone to the extreme of doing. All right, so I hope you liked that little tour of Umbilia, and of course Umbilia gets its name quite obviously, meaning navel, from that section in the middle, which very much looks like a belly button. And then all of those zoilas, of which there's about 120 possibly. Yes, I think that's the number I'm up to of different zoilas, but quite readily available today. Certainly 40, 50 years ago, it was, even the most common of the zoilas were considered a rarity and highly valued. But nowadays, while they still command very high prices, there's many in the zoila group that still fetch thousands upon thousands of dollars. All right. Thank you.